We're live.
All right, press the button. Let's see what happens.
All right. So theoretically we're live? Are we? I can't tell. I hate flying in the dark like this. Are we live? I think we're live. Cool. Hi everyone. Welcome to a very unusual live stream here in the parking lot at Linus Media Group. So we've hauled our whole setup outside. You want to show poor Anthony sitting in the parking lot here. We've got a spot for him with his UPS and his mixer and Stream PC and all that good stuff.
We got two super chats. Same guy, Cleve Green.
Cleve Green.
$20 and $25. You're late, and you're late part 2.
Yeah, we know. Okay, there was a whole thing. So the purpose of this live stream is twofold. One is we have gotten a lot of questions, including one of our neighbors here in the business complex where our office is, who literally walked up to us while we were preparing to do this live stream and goes, "Hey, so yeah, I was wondering, I saw your car was pink and all that, but then one day you drove up and it was like covered in all this stuff. What happened with that?" So purpose number one of the live stream is to finally answer once and for all of those who don't know what the heck happened to my car. And purpose number two was actually to do a test of our simultaneous live streaming. We've set up an RTMP server here in our server room, and the idea is that we're going to push to that at a very high quality encoding bit rate. Then that is going to take it and it's going to push to YouTube and Twitch separately. At least that was the theory. If that had worked, we would have gone live at exactly 3:30 instead of 3:34. So it's not working yet. We aren't sure exactly why. We've had tests running all week and it was just fine. And then, of course, the second you go to try and actually do something, it completely falls apart. So what happened with my car? Well, as the saga goes, I bought a 2003 Honda Civic for $11,000 back must have been about 10, 11 years ago now. And I went with this car because it was pretty much the best kilometers left on it per dollar that I could find on the market. So it only had about 45,000 clicks on it, even though it was actually about 4 or 5 years old at that time. It was just 11 grand, but the guy was getting rid of it because his lease was up and he had the option to buy it out, but he didn't want it, something. Anyway, I think statute of limitations is up, so I can admit that he gifted it to me. So I actually did not pay tax on that purchase. That was a long time ago. Good luck going after me for that. Anyway, so it was a really, really good deal. And I have driven it, whether sort of I like it or not, ever since then. Now, a lot of people wonder, you're a YouTuber, with that YouTube money, what kind of car do you drive? So I don't think I've ever actually done like a proper tour of my car. So it's got a lot of features. Got, the horn. It's got the windows that go like this. Not like this, windows like this. Okay. The doors don't lock. So if you actually ever did see my car in a parking lot somewhere, I would appreciate if you didn't. But the odds of you being able to just open up the door and go into it are 100% because, and I can explain why. It was actually broken into a couple times, probably must have been about 7, 8 years back. And what they did was they broke my door locks. So these are just for decoration now. My keys don't work in these door locks anymore. And while I could have the thing rekeyed, then all of a sudden I have to carry around 2 keys, one for the ignition and one for the doors. And so it was a similar story on the other side. And then because this is such a basic car, this is the basicest model of the Honda Civic from that year. It doesn't even have keyholes for the back. So I can lock the car because I could go like this. Oh, wow, you can see how stuck that is. It's full of glitter glue. So I could lock it, but I wouldn't be able to unlock it. So the only way to get back inside my car in the event that it's locked, and I have had to do this, is to open up the trunk. See, it's really easy to find the keyhole for the trunk. You just look for one of the blue paint splotches and then just kind of, there, see that one. So I've actually had to do this before where I would crawl in from the back here, and then there's a safety catch for the here we go, for the seats to push them down. And then I can crawl back into the car because I lent it to my sister and she didn't realize that you can't lock it. And so she locked it when she parked it for me. And I had to pull one of these, in order to get back into the driver's seat. Now, there's some other really basic stuff about my car. It's a manual transmission, but I actually really like that. That's one of the only redeeming features because as you can see, it's got lots of places for buttons, but it doesn't actually have any buttons to go there, you know? See, here's another empty button. That doesn't do anything. I don't even have air conditioning, although I did upgrade my deck. As you can see, I've done a tremendous job of peeling back some of the paint so I can at least tell what radio station I'm listening to. Yeah, that's a CD deck right there with aux in. That's beautiful. My wife got that for me. That was actually a gift. So here's what happened. Right, so then it was painted by the one and only Nikki V. Actually, no, it was painted originally by the whole team as part of the office break-in prank. So I got everyone away from the office so we could paint the car, and then we staged a break-in at the office while they were there. So that went up over on Channel Super Fun. And then the one and only Nikki V did up the, see, this is pink now, but it used to be orange. Yeah, there we go. Did up the orange rims with the green racing stripes. And so it got to the point that it was such a ridiculous meme that I figured, okay, LTX this year. So that's the convention that we did back in, I want to say July? Was LTX in July, you guys?
Sounds about right.
I think so. I think it was in July. So we decided at like totally last minute thing, literally the night before we decided this, we were going to get some art supplies. So Nick Light was legitimately out buying glitter, paint, markers, all that kind of crazy stuff. Oh yeah, this is the one. The morning of LTX, and then he brought it down there, we put out some tarps, and we decided a kind of a fun event would be giving people an opportunity to leave their mark on my car, indelibly, forever, as sort of a like, you know, they were here kind of thing. The only issue is that people got a little bit carried away. So you can see everything from the outside to the inside to even under the hood got painted or glittered or glued. Like someone even took the battery connector off, painted the battery terminal, and then put it back on. Maybe they were trying to do me a favor and make me think that my car was dead so that I would finally get around to replacing it. But true to form, I spent about 2-3 hours after LTX cleaning off my windshield, cleaning off the rest of my window. Look at this, someone painted this timing belt. I don't actually know if that's a timing belt. It's definitely a belt, so I'm not much of a car guy, but I'll get to that later. That's actually an important aspect of this stream. So someone actually painted that. So anyway, I cleaned off to the greatest extent that I could some of the windows. And I didn't entirely do my best. I guess I could have chipped away a little of this. And I've been driving it, but the issue here is that while I am mostly okay with driving this, there are some things that have been kind of issues. So with the amount of glitter glue that got dumped onto my seats, can you hear that? Like they're actually quite crunchy and it's not very comfortable. So that's a bit of a problem. And then because there's so much glitter in my car, it kind of gets everywhere. So you can see here that I had to take James somewhere for a shoot, and he actually insisted on bringing a tablecloth into my car and putting it on the seat so that he didn't have to touch it. My wife went to a business meeting, must have been, earlier this week, I think on Monday, and she rolls up. She's like 3 minutes late, so she's not like super late or anything. It's not the end of the world, but she's a couple minutes late, which is already bad manners. Everyone else is in like suits, and she pulls up. She's in her yoga pants. She walks out of this car, and she's just like, "This is ridiculous. Like we can't do this anymore." So the hidden purpose of this stream, now that I've explained exactly what happened to my car, like I couldn't even get the back clean. Like look at this. There's so much like confetti and stuff on here. It's like a pollution hazard. Like, it's ridiculous. So the hidden purpose of this stream is a couple of things. Number one is I am ready to reveal the replacement for the Lambo. I bought a new car today. Number two, actually I have multiple hidden purposes to this stream. Number two is I would like to hear from you guys. What should we do with the Lambo? We've got a few options. There's a local shooting range that we could take it to, and we could just take the whole team out there, record a channel super fun, and shoot the crap out of it. You know, 10 points if you can break a window, 30 points if you can knock off a mirror, all that kind of fun stuff. So that's an option. Another option is there's a place down in like Vegas or something, I think. I forget exactly where it is, but it probably would be Vegas, where you can hire an Abrams tank and you can drive over a car of your choice with the tank. So that might be kind of a fun option. I've had a lot of people ask, why don't you sell it? Or why don't you donate it to charity or something like that? And the reason that I wouldn't want to do that is I actually have legitimate safety concerns about driving this vehicle. So for years now, it's had here, this other side, 2, 3, at least 3. I thought there were 4. So a couple of them might have joined. Oh yeah, 4. It's had 4 cracks and or deep chips in the windshield, each of which individually would be enough to disqualify this from being safely driven on the road, because it does affect the structural integrity of the vehicle, especially if it were to be hit from the front. And the cost of replacing a windshield on a vehicle like this is vastly greater than the actual cost of the vehicle itself. So I couldn't in good conscience provide this vehicle to someone, especially with the amount of work that would be required to get it street legal. That's something I'm actually a little disappointed in our community about. We had like 2 rules. Rule number 1 was have fun. Rule number 2 was keep it street legal. And we ended up with some cuss words. We ended up with most of the windows looked basically like this. This is one that I didn't bother to clean. And then the back, the front windshield was probably a little better than this, but not as dissimilar as you might hope. All these lights had to be scraped off. That took quite a while, although it was easier before the paint was totally dry. That's another thing. That was kind of my tipping point, was I accidentally left my window open, like just a sliver. So a little bit of water dripped in, and some of it got on this, like this gooped on glue that someone put here on the door handle. And it kind of went wet again because of the water, and I got it all over my hands, and I was like, you know what, this is just kind of my limit. So back to ulterior motive of the stream, number whatever it was.
Super chat?
Oh yeah, sure, hit me with a super chat.
Okay, well, early on we had another $50 super chat.
$50 super chat, wow.
Cleve Green.
Yeah, what's it say? Hi Cleve Green.
It's okay because I love the channel. $20 from Gordon.
It's okay because you love the channel? What's okay? Just everything's okay?
I think that we were late.
Oh, that we were late.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Chris Bennett says, please don't buy a Tesla.
Chris Bennett says, don't buy a Tesla. Well, the decision's sort of already made. The car has been sitting just out of frame this entire time, so I guess we'll see. What else you got?
Warning, Twitch has exclusivity clause if you can't stream it.
Warning, Twitch has an exclusivity clause. Nah, it's okay, we'll be fine. Yeah.
Let's see. Turn your
Don't worry about it.
That's
If Twitch kicks us off, then Twitch kicks us off, like whatever. It's fine.
Trainer gave us 10 pounds with no message.
Scott?
Scott, yeah.
Scott Trainer. All right. So, everyone, super chats and not super chats.
On train.
Oh, there's a train? Whatever, that's like the excitement train. Everybody get on board.
Turn it into a convertible for CSF.
So I bought a Volt. It's
Also, a lot of people are talking about the get effect on the lens.
the what effect?
There's like a
Oh, nothing we can do about that now. Should be fine now. We're going the other way. So, why did I buy a Chevy Volt? I'm sure a lot of you are kind of wondering, because that wasn't one of the cars that I was talking about. It's definitely not the most exciting car in the world, by a long shot. But here's the reason. So, something that probably I hope a lot of you know is that while I am a tech guy, I had a lot of people say, well, you're a tech guy, just get a Tesla. And I was like, oh yeah, I mean, they're basically rolling computers, which is pretty cool. There are some issues with sort of Tesla in general. I'm not a huge fan of what they're doing in terms of right to repair, access to replacement parts. Honestly though, when it comes to just picking the product I want and then using it and enjoying it, that's not the kind of thing that I'm typically gonna like make a stand about, you know, oh, you guys don't provide tools to third-party repair centers. I wouldn't even consider you. But it was definitely a factor. I don't think that I'm ready for all electric yet. So I do have an all gas vehicle. We also have a 2016 Honda Odyssey minivan. So that's our sort of, you know, family wagon. So I did consider all electric, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to make the plunge. And some of the plug-in hybrids these days, one of the ones I was looking at was the Honda Clarity. And this was one of the other ones I ended up looking at, make a pretty compelling case for me in particular. So I live about 20 kilometers from work. So as long as I get a car that even once you factor in, you don't have to really worry about cell degradation, because the way that they configure these things, there is so much extra battery capacity in them that they've built in like a good 5 to 10 years, depending on the manufacturer, sort of exactly what it is. But they've built in a good 5 to 10 years of battery degradation. So they'll just grab more reserve battery life and start presenting it to you. They never let you fill it all the way. Like I think this one is something like 75% to 30% is all it really allows you to do. It doesn't even let you charge it all the way, and that's best for the health of the car. And that's something that we actually talked about in a recent video where we said that you need to stop charging your phone overnight. You guys can check that out. Same basic principles. So worrying about battery degradation isn't really a huge thing until after, I think it's like 10 years with this one. But you do have to account for cold weather. So this one does, I think it's something like a 50-mile range, so that works out to something like, what, 75 or 80 kilometers or something like that? Whatever that converts to, I think it's about 80, 85 kilometers under sort of EPA-rated conditions. And so for me, in the cold, where you're gonna probably take a 30% hit, that means that I'll be able to get to work, I could do a short errand, and then I could get back from work all on battery without burning gas. And the only time I'll really burn gas is if I need to drive down to Richmond for badminton or something like that. All of that while I'm still getting the benefit of a gasoline engine. So it doesn't have some of the sex appeal of some of the all-electrics where you can 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, or you never have to visit a gas station ever again. But for me, I'll be driving it all electric probably a good 80 to 85% of the time. So that on top of incentives that you can get for installing electric chargers at work. So we're going to install some electric chargers here at the office. Brandon's going to be pretty happy, so is Lloyd. Means that I can start charging up at work where the company pays for charging for some reason. I'm sure they're going to find a way around that at some point, figure out that people are going to be abusing the heck out of chargers at their offices or at malls or whatever else the case may be. I'm sure they're going to make some progress there, because there's taxation implications, right? If someone's actually getting all of their fuel from a charger at work, once it gets over, I think it's like a couple $100, it becomes a taxable benefit. Anyway, that's all like sort of corporate management speak that you guys probably don't really care about. But anyway, I'll be taking advantage of that for now, so I'll be charging it up at work. And I don't know, what else can I really tell you guys about it? I stuck with my MO, which is, as you can see, this is not a brand new car. I actually, in my life, have only bought a brand spanking new car one time. That was the minivan, and that was because I planned to drive that thing for 10 to 15 years. And minivans, because they're such a commodity item, like nobody buys a minivan on an impulse because they're like passionate about minivans. And I'm sure someone did, but for the most part, no one does that. So they tend to follow pretty much a formula for pricing where however much usable life is left on it, as some kind of function of how old it is the price. So a new one actually ended up being a better deal than a fairly recent used one, whereas for the most part, that's not the case. So one of these, this is an LT 2017. So the current equivalent, it's got leather seats and the Bose sound upgrade, but nothing else, no other extras. So one of these would probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of around 40, I want to say 41 or 42,000 Canadian dollars plus that stupid fee that the dealerships charge you. It's like $500-600, sometimes as much as $1,000 depending where you go. So plus that fee plus taxes. So this one has 29,000 kilometers on it. So that would be what, about 20,000 miles? And it cost me 31,000 plus the $600 for the fee. So basically I saved about $10,000, a quarter of the price of the car. And the way that I calculate it, I figure any car, consumer grade vehicle, has probably a usable lifespan of about 200,000 to 200 and low, like 240,000 kilometers before you start getting into, okay, time for a new transmission, although I don't know, it only has one gear ratio. I don't know exactly how that works in here. But time for a new transmission, time to start actually replacing some significant things, and your upkeep cost starts to become noticeable, and you have to be taking it into the shop more frequently or repairing it, sidelining it more frequently. So the way that I see it, I've still got a good, it's only used up maybe what, 1/7 to 1/8 of its usable life, but I got a quarter of the price off. So, I don't know, do you guys want to see the inside? Do you want me to open up the other door? You can poke your head in that way. Let's do that.
You want to do super chats?
What's that?
You want to do super chats?
Yeah, sure, you can hit me with 2.
2?
Yep.
Okay, let me find 2 of the better ones.
All right. So this was a purely pragmatic decision. This was sort of the most electric car I could get for the least amount of money. Overall, actually, especially, I'd heard people talk about how Teslas don't have amazing interiors for the price that you pay. But I'd never really like side-by-side compared them. Riding around in Brendan's Model X, it doesn't feel like, you know, that's a car that's, you know, 3 times, I would pay 3 times as much for that interior finish. Like, honestly, it's like fine. And okay, do you want to hit me with those super chats now?
Yeah, so 24 British pounds. Daniel Warren says destroy it with a tank.
Daniel Warren votes for the tank. All right, Daniel, duly noted.
There's another one. Seabart 1987, $20 Canadian. Shooting range, then smashed by the tank.
Seabart. Interesting proposition. So Seabart wants us to do the shooting range first, then the tank. Okay, we could do that, but I think there's an issue, and that's that we would probably want to drive it down to Vegas for the tank, and I don't think it would be street legal anymore once everyone had their way with it with a rifle or handgun or whatever the case may be.
Shoot it.
We could drive it there, then shoot it, then run it over with a tank. That's not a bad option. Then we could just tow it from the shooting range to the desert. All right, hit me with one more.
Okay, let's see. 10 euros. Leo Grievous says.
Leo says,
Paint it pink.
paint it pink. Okay, so actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. Oh, right, interior. So I don't have OnStar or whatever, so the built-in navigation doesn't work. That's kind of annoying. How do you say? Okay, regenerative braking. So I like that there's different modes for regenerative braking. And anyway, all of this actually got me thinking, you know, we have not done a particularly amazing job of addressing the car technology segment over the years. And part of the reason has been that engaging with car brands has been, I'm not going to name any names because some of them have actually been great. Some of them have been really good, among the best brands we've ever dealt with. And some of the others have been just an absolute nightmare to deal with. And that's one of the reasons that we really haven't approached doing car videos from sort of a technological standpoint, because I think it is something that our viewers would like, and feel free to let us know in the comments if you agree or if you disagree. And it is something that I think we'd have a lot of fun doing. And honestly, I actually had a blast shopping for this car. Generally speaking, I don't really like shopping, but you know, there were so many different things to consider, so many speeds and feeds, so many trim models, so many different things about the shopping experience. Chevy's shopping experience, I mean, I went to a couple different dealers, one where I was looking at a new one and then one where they had this one, can be all over the place. One of them was great and actually didn't end up being the one that I bought from because they only had new cars. And one of them was absolutely terrible. Like, it was really annoying. It was classic car salesman with the whole stupid, like, oh, you know, I'll check that price with my manager, and then they come back and they give you a different one. You get, like, the sales sheet has like 7 lines on it before the final price because it's just designed to do this stupid back and forth. And I'm kind of sitting here going, stop wasting my time. Just tell me the price of the vehicle. So there's a lot of things that from sort of just like a general consumer buying a car standpoint that don't get covered, and we hate dealing with car brands. So it led me to an interesting conclusion, and the reason that I don't plan to paint this car pink. I think we should start doing car reviews, but we should do them in a really different way. So some of you will remember this. Back when we originally started doing phone videos, I think I probably told you guys this, but I had never actually purchased a smartphone in my life. I had only ever been issued them through work, and I wasn't really a smartphone guy. So the way that I really approached it, rather than knowing all the right benchmarks to run and all the different sort of software settings and features to look for, I just would use them. And I'd just start using them and I'd go, well, here's some things I liked, here's some things I didn't. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I also think it gave our phone videos sort of a unique perspective. And what I got to thinking was, well, this was a lot of fun shopping for this car. And I hate dealing with car manufacturers, but I would like to do car videos. So maybe what we should do is we should approach them really differently. I'm not going to try to pretend to be a car expert, but what I'll do is I'm going to buy this car, I'm going to drive it for a month, so you guys can expect in about a month to 6 weeks time to see a video on the Chevy Volt. The 2017 model is very similar to the 2018, so there's not a huge difference there to speak of. So it'll be about this car. And then what I think we're gonna do, if we can figure it out from a taxation standpoint, is we are going to sell this car immediately. We might even have a link. Should we just have a link under the video where people can see the listing? Yeah, then someone in our community can buy it. Yeah. Maybe we could do like an exclusive merch thing or something. Like they could have oh, you know what would be the coolest thing? We could do like a plaque. You could get a plaque with it that has like a golden album, kind of like a CD, and it could be like the LTT Drivers CD, and you could be an LTT driver. Get it? Because drivers. Anyway, we'll figure out some way to make it kind of special, and so someone can buy the car, they'll know exactly where it came from and who owned it, and then we'll let the community vote, and they can tell us what they want to see next. There's some really interesting stuff coming. Didn't Hyundai just announce something? I know Jaguar has the I-Pace coming. Yeah.
Kona?
Yeah, the Kona. Yeah, who's that? Is that Hyundai?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Hyundai has that coming. So anyway, let me know in the comments on this video what you guys think, and I guess that's pretty much it. That's the purpose of the stream. That's what happened to my car, and this is it. This is it. This is RIP Lambo. The plates are off, baby.
Wait, where?
Plates are off.
Are you driving it home?
No, it's staying. It's just gonna stay here until we shoot it up or blow it up or drive over it with the tank or whatever the case may be. It's done. That's it. It's been kind of, it's been kind of bittersweet actually, because this car has gotten me to many, many places over many, many years. And like I said, I'm not really a car guy, but I'm certainly a like my stuff that's been good to me kind of guy, and it's served me very, very well. But I've just kind of had enough of like, you know, this sort of thing, you know. So that's pretty much it, guys. This video is brought to you by PIA. Private Internet Access is the VPN that's basically a VPN. It's just a good one. So it masks your location so that the services that you use online and the sites that you use can't tell where you're from. It keeps any information from leaking out to advertisers or other folks who might want to track you or profit from your data. They've got servers. They've got thousands of servers in, what is it, like 28 different countries all over the world. And their rates are affordable. So go check them out. That's, I don't remember our vanity URL, but we're going to have that linked in the video description. So thanks for watching, guys. If you disliked this video, you can hit that button, but if you liked it, hit like, get subscribed, or maybe consider checking out where to buy the stuff we featured. Hey, We need to get an affiliate link for these things if people are going to actually run out and like buy cars. I don't know. How does that work? You can't buy those on Amazon. Anyway, also linked down there is our merch store, which has cool shirts like this one, and our community forum, which you should totally join. And we should probably do a handful more super chats.
Yeah.
Don't give me the dollar amounts, just names and messages.
Okay. Okay, Jesse McKenzie says, Linus, have you thought about installing solar and using that to charge it?
Jesse says, Linus, have you thought about installing solar and using that to charge it? Absolutely. We have thought about doing solar here at the office. So we've got all the way from this end of the building here, all the way to the bay on the left of the Linus Media Group sign. And then the whole thing is probably, I think it's about 40 or 50 feet deep, something like that. So we've got that whole roof area up there. The issue though, is that it's got kind of a faux front on it, for one thing. So you, because of the angle of the sun a lot of times a year, we're gonna lose probably a good 10% of the roof space to that. And then the other issue is that we live in the Pacific Northwest. So you only really get 4 to 5 months a year of real bona fide sunlight. And that tends to make it pretty difficult to offset the cost. What I actually want to do, if anyone out there like works closely with a solar installer or a solar panel supplier or something like that, is I'd love to work something out where we do like a bunch of content around it. Like what I really want to do, what we've been trying to do since we moved in here, is whole building solar panel setup. So where we actually get the whole company and we try to do it ourselves and kind of bungle our way through it like whole room water cooling, like vlog style. I think it would be a really fun way to really talk about the real life challenges of getting a solar panel installation going. So I think something like that would be fun. Just for those who are messaging about it already, don't worry, we're not gonna actually like hook up high voltage lines ourselves. We like have an electrician who's cool and who will come in and like help us with that stuff, don't worry. Okay, what else you got?
I got Ryan Redford says keep it blue.
Ryan says keep it blue. Yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe like if we do something with vinyl, then that doesn't affect whoever gets it next, right? So we could just do like LTT orange racing stripes up it or something like that. Like that'd be pretty cool.
Josh Campbell says use the hood as a set piece for WAN show.
Josh says hood as a set piece for WAN show. Probably not. We're probably going to do WAN show inside because it's going to be we have enough challenges to solve before WAN show today with this dual streaming thing. Anything else? Okay, one more.
Gareth Fairclough?
Gareth says
Thermite plus Lambo.
Thermite plus Lambo, yeah.
Hydraulic press channel. Oh,
hydraulic press channel. Now that's an interesting one. I don't even think it would fit in their press. I've seen that channel. All right, see you guys. Go ahead and cut me.
And we cut.
How'd we do for